Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Three Man Weave, live here from Assembly Hall, Sunday evening. IU just won their 8th straight double-digit game of the season, 8-0 to start the year, 84-50 over the Stetson Hatters from the Atlantic Sun Conference. The real test obviously comes Saturday when the #1 ranked team in the nation comes in here, Kentucky. A little sluggish tonight, guys, just a bit. You had two pretty intense games from Butler on last Sunday, and then at NC State on Wednesday. But in the second half, Tom Crean made a couple of changes to the lineup, Connor, and that really made the difference. The Hoosiers outscored Stetson by 30 in the second half.
That was the turning point of the game. Was really Crean made a decision to bring out Daniel Moore, Derek Elston, and Will Sheehy to start off the second half instead of Jordan Hulse, Christian Watford, and Victor Oladipo. So a very controversial move, which Crean admitted afterwards that could have backfired very easily, and that could have been a move that put IU in a hole in the second half. But we saw Moore was able to get a couple steals, was able to have move the ball around very well to start off the second half. Elston knocked down a three. Sheehy had 2 quick layups, and those three really triggered the turnaround in the second half. IU got off to a 32-5 run to start off the second half, and it was a reminder that this is IU and this is Stetson, and that's probably the way it was supposed to happen from the get-go.
They had a 23-1 run in the middle of that second half when Stetson was held without a field goal for about 8 straight minutes. Avi, do you learn anything from Stetson, or is it just all about Saturday at this point?
It's all about Saturday. It's my mind was probably half there, during this game. Connor said it best. The second half was a reminder that this is Stetson playing Indiana, in Assembly Hall, and obviously we just talked about the slow start, but it all starts Saturday. Next Saturday. You start that clock as the final buzzer sounded here to signify an 84-50, thumping of Stetson. You're thinking about Kentucky, the #1 ranked team in the country, coming into Assembly Hall next Saturday, and I'm really, really excited to see what that game's going to be like.
Yeah, the chant started late from the student section saying we want Kentucky, beat Kentucky. The 1987 national championship team was also in attendance tonight, 12 of the 15 players. Steve Alford made the trip to Mexico. He coached the Lobos to a victory late Saturday night, made the trip early today, and they watched the Hoosiers again get their 8th straight victory start the year. Some guys coming off the bench. Tom Pritchard had a few chants, a nice little alley-oop dunks. I don't know about you guys, it's one of the most dunks I've seen in a basketball game. Highlight reel. Victor Oladipo, Pritchard, Cody Zoe had a nice one-handed slam. Is there anything else we can take out of this game? Balance scoring, guys. Anything that you saw that maybe can help them Saturday, or negatively? Tom Crean did mention rebounding is still an issue for this team.
Yeah, at the end of the game, they were still tied with Stetson in rebounding. That's a team that, when you have a disadvantage like that, you've got to be able to out-rebound them. A team like Kentucky is going to be able to box out. They have big enough guys that are able to get position, and IU is still kind of slapping at the ball in those situations and not necessarily just holding on to the basketball, a little bit of a hot potato for them. But that's an area that will need to be addressed this week during practice. I wouldn't be surprised if Crean had a ton of
blockout drills.
Yeah, a few blockout drills on the way. But if you look at guys coming in off the bench, that's been the key all year, is getting sparks from Sheehy and Moore, and even Tom Pritchard today. Right. We saw arguably Pritchard's best game his senior year. Some of the students are starting to rally behind Pritchard, or as Crean said, appreciative of his effort this year.
It's the plain dealer.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to look at with this IU team going into Saturday, and it'll be interesting to see if Kentucky is able to expose them.
And to that point, I'm interested to hear you guys talk about rebounding real quick, because for me, I've always felt it was kind of like a point of mediocrity with the Indiana team, that they could do a lot better. But, you look at a stat like this. Stetson shot 8 of 20 from three-point range. When you're jacking up that many threes and the long rebounds, right, is that really boxing out, or is that kind of just more of a random thing, where the ball falls? And obviously, you look at Stetson, you look at IU, it's like, oh, IU shouldn't get out-rebounded. But there are some, there's a little bit of wiggle room there where you can say, some of those facts. I don't know. What do you guys think?
We saw Wednesday evening. The first half, NC State, which we did do it, Three-Man Weave after that game, so we should probably talk about that as well. NC State just owned them on the glass, and those athletes, C.J. Leslie, Richard Howe, Deshaun Painter, those big body guys are who is going to be here on Saturday. Anthony Davis will be one of the best rebounders IU sees all year. So I think it's a combination of effort thing, but it's also just finding your man and boxing out. And when you're playing teams like we saw with Butler a while back, we had some smaller guys who did that against IU. So I think it is a big problem for this team. Christian Watford has never been a physical guy at the four, really. He likes to play away from the basket. I mean, he does get us 5-6 rebounds each game, but it's not like he's in. You wouldn't call him a great rebounder by any means. So I think it is a huge point of Memphis going into this week.
And I think part of that is with a team like Kentucky, those second chance points that teams like Stetson get that they aren't able to convert because IU is able to recover defensively, maybe get a hand up and block those second chance shots. Kentucky doesn't get those shots blocked.
Right.
If they get a second chance opportunity, they're going to convert. They're going to finish. They have guys that can score in the inside with regularity. It doesn't really matter. Contact with guys like this, and you're going to see that come Big Ten play. So yes, the Hoosiers are 8-0, and they're blowing teams out right now. But there are definitely some areas that need to be addressed for this team moving forward.
This place will definitely be rocking on Saturday. Another stat I saw here, 50 points in the paint for IU tonight. That equates how many points Stetson had, period. That's very impressive when you think about it. If you take all the other areas on the floor, IU and Stetson would be in overtime. I mean, it's unbelievable to think that they're that dominant. Don't expect quite that output on Saturday. Guys, just what do you think this atmosphere is going to be like Saturday? I know all three of us were in attendance a couple of years ago when Kentucky team, I believe, was ranked 4th, I want to say, somewhere in the top 5, and this IU team was exactly. John Wall to DeMarcus Cousins, all I believe Eric Bledsoe had some big threes in that game as well. No Maurice Creek to hit 6 first-half threes, a totally different IU team, though. They now have a realistic shot. It'll be interesting to see where they move up into the polls if they are ranked going into this week, but guys, just how crazy is this place going to be Saturday evening?
It's setting up the big show. I mean, even the timing of the game. It's what, 5:15 tip?
Exactly.
5:15 tip on a Saturday. I mean, come on.
It was noon a couple of years ago.
Right. And that place was so loud. I mean, this is going to be one of those games. I don't, regardless of what the outcome is, it's going to be one of those games that really sticks out, in your mind. And as far as the actual game itself, I think that IU will play the Wildcats much closer than I expected coming into the season, having seen these first 8 games. Does that mean I think they're going to win? No, I don't. But I still think if IU can get a single-digit point loss against Kentucky, that's definitely a sign of improvement and a sign of good things to come.
And I thought that first thing, or the game against Kentucky 2 years ago was the best atmosphere I had ever seen personally. And this Saturday is going to be even better than that, considering that IU finally has a little bit of that credibility, and Kentucky is number 1 in the country, and I fully expect this atmosphere to be the best that we have seen in the Tom Crean era.
Pretty sure Dick Vitale will be in attendance on the call. 5:15 tip on Saturday, probably the hardest ticket that IU basketball fans will have to get all year. Luckily, we'll be here. And we should do a 3-man leave later in the week. We don't know when media availability is, but we'll just kind of look at the Wildcats a little more in depth and see, because they obviously come off a very impressive victory on Saturday over North Carolina.
Sneak preview, they're good.
Very good, very long, and a lot of NBA scouts I would expect to be at Assembly Hall on Saturday. So for Avi Zayla and Connor O'Gara, I'm Kevin Bowen. Again, IU wins 84-50 over Stetson. They're 8-0 for the first time since 2002, 2003 to start the year.
What's a hatter? What's a hatter?
I was disappointed that mascot was not here.